So before building the block diagram, first of all, what is the order of the system? The order of the system is 3, n is equal to 3. Therefore, when you draw the block diagram, we have to take 3 integrators, and all 3 integrators must be in cascaded form, in series form. Then hence it is called the series decomposition. So 1, 2, 3 integrators you take it, and we know that each integrator, the output is a state variable, the input to the integrator is a derivative of the state variable. So when you have the 3 integrators, there will be 3 state variables. So all 3 state variables we have to name from the right side to the left side. So there is no rule that we have to take always the right side, the first and increasing order. You can take from here also. That is why we said the state space representation is not unique. You can have your own numericals, and you can find your own state space model. This is one particular standard methods which we are looking at. So the first integrator is 1 by s, the output is x1, the input is x1 dot. Then I am taking one more integrator, x2 and x2 dot, and another integrator x3 and x3 dot. And all 3 are connected in cascade. So when you connect the cascade from this block to this block, let us take one more intermediate block, the gain is 1. Similarly, from second block to the first one, then one more gain block with the gain 1. And from the last one, let us see what we will be getting after x1. Now all the integrators are taken and their respective state variable also defined. Now look at what is the equation 3. So equation 3 is the output equation. The output equation in terms of the variable x1. So where is x1 here? So we have x1 only here. Now what I want to do is, the last integrator, the output is x1, the input is, I can write it as x1 dot or s into x1. So s indicates d by dt. Each d by dt represents equivalent Laplace transform is s. Therefore x dot is sx. So therefore s into x1. Then look at the second integrator. I have x2 and input to that is x2 dot, which means s into x2, which means s square into x1. So this is s square into x1. Look at the third one. So in third one we have input to the third integrator is x3 dot. So x3 dot I can write it as s square x1, because already we have s cube x1. So we have 3 integrants we are coming, therefore it is s cube x1. What is output equation y? Output equation y is b3 and s cube x1. This is the first term, b3 s cube x1. Therefore s cube x1 is available, and take this signal and connect one block with b3 and connect it to the summing point, because the y has so many terms. One of the term with s cube x1, the second term with s square x1. In s square x1, what is the coefficient? We have b2. So from s square x1 I can connect b2 and I can connect that to the summing point. Then again the third term is we have sx1 with the coefficient b1. So b1 sx1 is available, from there you connect it. Then lastly we have x1 b0. So x1 is available, introduce one more block there after x1 and connect it. Therefore there are 3 inputs to the summing point which results in the output y. So that y equation, whatever you get here, that's similar to the equation 3. So from equation 3 we can connect the things like this, which are all in positive direction from left side to right side. Similarly we connect the loops using equation 4. What is equation 4? Left side equation 4 is s cube x1. So already s cube x1 is available here. So what you do is you add one summing point to this, so that I can add all the things, all the terms that are there, and for that I will have the input. But what is s cube x1? S cube x1 is equal to, when you look at equation 4, u minus, therefore I am connecting u, the sign is placed, u minus. Then again there are 3 feedbacks, three terms which are there. One is minus a2 x1. So s square x1. So s square x1 is available, and you connect minus a2 to this. Similarly from sx2 we need to connect minus a1, and from x1 we can connect minus a0. So this way we can connect all the loops. So once the loops are available, once forward paths are available, it is only writing the equation at all the derivative of the state variables. Then how can you write the equations? When you write the equations, first write x1 dot. So what is x1 dot here? x1 dot is nothing but x2. Simply x1 dot is x2. What is x2 dot? x2 dot is x3. What is x3 dot? So x3 dot is nothing minus a naught x1, because all the feedback loops are available, and minus a1 x2 minus a2 x3 and plus u. So these are the three equations we have. These equations available, I need to put them in the matrix form to get the one of the state equation, which is the state state model. So all these left hand side derivative state variables I am writing here, x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot is equal to the matrix form, and the next is x1, x2, x3 plus, now I have only one input, therefore the B matrix is going to be only 3 cross 1 and U is the input. Then how to make the entries? Look at the equation first. X1 dot is x2, therefore I have 0, 1, 0 and there also 0, only x2 we have. What is x2 dot? We have only x3, so 0, 0, 1, again there is 0. Now what is x3 dot? Then we have for quotient for x1 is minus a naught, minus a1 for x2 and minus a3, a2 for x3, and finally we have 1 there because input u is available. Then what is the A matrix here? The A matrix is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, minus a naught, minus a1, minus a2. What is the B matrix? 0, 0, 1. So the B matrix is always 0, 0, 1. B matrix is always the same. In A matrix, the first two rows will be same. The third row depends on the coefficient of the denominator. Next, look at the output equation. So we already have the output y from the block diagram. From the block diagram, we can write the equation like this: y is b0 x1 plus b1 x2 plus b2 x3 plus we have x3 dot also. So that x3 dot, we have already x3 dot equation. Take that and substitute here. When you substitute here, then you will be getting y equation, and from the y equation we can write the matrix form. When you write the matrix form, there is only one output, y is equal to, we can take this matrix, and this matrix is output matrix where we have 1 cross 3. What are the entries of it? The entries of it is going to be b0 minus b3 a0, and the b1 minus b3 a1 and b2 minus b3 a2. So this is what the B matrix is. Then I have the x. Then what is a D matrix? Your D matrix is going to be only b3 and into u. U is the input. So I have A matrix, B matrix, C matrix and D matrix. So the four matrices combinedly we call it the state model of the system. So when you compare this with because what analysis we did, that is for only third order, but we can generalize. How can we generalize? So in general, the A matrix entries are like this. Your A matrix dimension is n cross n, and the first all n minus 1 rows we can fill like this. The first row will always start with 0 followed by 1 and remaining all are zeros. The first row, first element is 0 followed by 1, all other elements are 0. Very standard. Then the second row, all elements are 0 except one element is 1, and that 1 is shifted towards the right. That means the second row 0, 0, 1 and all are zeros. So likewise you can shift that 1 like this, and just before the last row 0, 0, 0, 1, the last element is 1. Then what about the last row? The entries of last row are nothing but my denominator of the transfer function coefficients. So what are the denominator coefficients? We have a n minus 1, a n minus 2 and so on. Therefore write them in the reverse order, which means you have to take a naught as the first element, because a naught in the transfer function last element. Take that as the first element in this particular row and take the negative of it. So minus a naught, minus a1, minus a2 and so on. The last one is minus a n minus 1. Just take the coefficients, write in the reverse order and with the opposite sign, that will be the A matrix. It's very simple. And B matrix is always 0, the last one is 1. It is also very easy. And the C matrix is, then we need to look at the quotient of numerator and as well as the denominator. So C matrix will have, it is B naught minus Bn A naught. And the second one is B1 minus Bn A naught. So Bn is constant, only here B naught A naught, B1 A1 and so on, it is varying like this. And what is a D matrix? D matrix is always Bn matrix. So this is the very general form. And one more thing is, in the transfer function we have a numerator n number of order is n, and the denominator also order is n. So both the orders are same. When both orders are same, which means the transfer function has the same number of zeros as the poles, then such transfer functions usually called as a strictly proper transfer function. Whenever the number of poles and number of zeros are same, or otherwise if the numerator highest degree, denominator highest degree both are equal, then only the D matrix exists. D matrix entries is Bn. So Bn is nothing but the highest degree of numerator. It exists only if it is available. So otherwise the D matrix is going to be 0. Most of the real-time systems, D matrix 0, we cannot control the output directly from the input without going through the process. So that is what it is. So D matrix is most of the case 0. If it is available, we will take it. And this Bn is going to appear in the C matrix also. Look at that, B naught minus Bn A naught. If at all B naught is 0, this is going to be only Bn, which means B1, B naught, B1, B2 we have to take it if that highest degree is not equal to the denominator highest degree.